Good evening. It is I, the evil of the world, the one you secretly love yet hate to acknowledge, the one your grandmother rebukes at her adultery-filled pastor's church, the king of the abyss, or simply put, the devil. I've just taken the soul of your favorite celebrity. Which one? You know damn well which one. Do you really think all those pitiful, empathetic, sorry for your loss social media posts are going to prevent them from coming to the inevitable? No. That's almost as worse as those t-shirts with free Ray Ray or Pookie on them. He kills 2 neighborhood kids, and all of a sudden, you want him to be freed like he's some kind of saint. Your glory-shouting grandmother didn't teach you well enough. You see, even the most innocent-looking people can have a mean streak about them. Those hidden sins may not be revealed in public, but I know exactly what you do in private. What goes on in the dark comes into the light, as you humans say, and I am the king of the dark. But enough of my rambling. I know what you're here for. You've come to hear one of my many success stories of making others miserable or worse. Like your favorite retired wrestler, reminiscing about what they used to be. Sometimes I feel as if you humans are more sadistic than myself. I suppose I can tell you about the time I caused a whole town of peasants to dance uncontrollably. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Why would I cause a whole town to perform an act that is considered joyful? In normal circumstances, you're right. I would hate it to the very core of its existence and would hope that one of you would trip, fall, and break a bone. But this dance was no mere social media craze or a strip club hullabaloo. This was demon possession. Yes, just like the exorcism of Emily Rose for you simpletons. It was the year 1518 in a little town in Strasbourg, Alsace, or what would be known as France today. As you all may know, I am an avid drinker of wine, and France, as much as I detest the whole country, has some of the finest wine I've tasted, especially in those days. Perhaps it's the fungus from their feet after not bathing for weeks on end. I would assume they used their feet to squish the grapes. Nevertheless, the town was crawling with churchgoers due to the Roman Empire. Now we all know that the Romans were anything but holy. I hate that word. Anyway, during my wine drinking adventure, I decided to shake up the core of what was considered, well, you know, that H word. I knew that some hated Rome and would much rather return to the more Hellenistic religions. One such woman was Frau Troffea. She was a simple, poor woman who wanted nothing to do with the religious beliefs of the empire. She would hold special meetings in her home with other conspirators to practice Druidism, which is interesting to say the least. She would be the perfect person to carry out my mission, to make it seem like she was dancing for righteousness. Damn it. Whatever. To make it seem that she was dancing for that word, I used one of my minions to possess her, which was easy to do as some of her rituals were linked to me. On that hot July afternoon, she began to dance uncontrollably outside her home. She screamed and cried tears due to anguish and exhaustion, but the spectators simply saw this as her soul crying out for that man. You know who. I won't say his name. Everyone in her city knew about her beliefs and saw this as a new chapter in her life. Soon enough, people started to play music and join her in the dancing, while she slowly started to fade, unknowingly, before their very lives. Many of those people were followers of her nightly routines and fell victim to my very same demons. By nightfall, most of them were trying to keep their balance by leaning against a wall, and others had already fallen on the ground with their feet still dancing away. It was such a delight to see. 3 days later, people were dropping like flies. Poor Frau had already passed by the beginning of the 3rd day, and more people died by the hour. Oh, they brought in some of the country's best physicians to try and cure what they called a disease. The people had been dancing for so long, blood was dripping from their feet onto the ground, which made the area a beautiful, foot-shaped crimson color. They even made them put on little red shoes with religious symbols painted on them and go to some shrine to ask for forgiveness. I laughed and laughed. Once about 400 of them were dead, and their bodies littered the streets. I collected their souls like a farmer's fall harvest and went on my merry little way. I wanted more, but I could only reach the ones that contacted me first. But it was a nice little addition to my souls. In my opinion, they got off lucky. How well do people forget the bubonic plague that occurred less than 200 years earlier? But that's a story for another day. For those of you who like to twerk and shake your ass, thank Frau and her little band of misfits. That's all the precious time I have today for you fools. If you like what you heard, please feel free to follow me if you're not doing that already. And please tell your friends about me. Advertising can be such hell.